the kids to bed, dad's home. We are the DWO podcast, representing the Dad World Order. How did I flub that up? Anyway, I am the handsome head of household, Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin, and with me, as always, the rest of this patriarch pack. He is the big bad bearded daddy. He is Big Rig Eric Maffei.
What up? What up?
And he is the perpetual mid-carder and the two-time world record holder. He is the wrestling t-shirt guest, Cephas.
All right, what up, y'all? We are on day 718 with a Briscoe shirt tonight.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, as Mr. Magnificent said, we are the DWO podcast. Tonight we have with us a very special guest, man we are very familiar with, and you're about to get real familiar with. The president of wrestling, I believe, is the moniker, I guess you'd call it. Mr. Phil Stamper, sir, how the heck are you?
I am great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man.
So I have to say one thing out of the gate. I don't do the president of wrestling as a mimic of the president of the United States. It's
right.
more.
I would hope not.
It was always supposed to. Right, please. It was always supposed to be like, hey, look at the people who have taken on those leadership positions, like a Triple H.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I want to be that kind of authority figure, not the guy in that office. Like,
I don't know.
12 geriatrics we've had. Yeah.
I think your best moniker is the best Phil in wrestling.
you know, I do like that. I am enjoying being the best Phil in wrestling because let's
That
face
is
it, I
good
am the best Phil in wrestling.
Yeah.
It's perfect. And any other Phil that says any different is just going to create, controversy, which equals cash. So
Yeah.
there you go.
And trust in Phil. I love that. That's one of my favorites.
That was my sign at the last Revolver in Dayton.
Which I appreciate.
Absolutely.
We're going ham with some signs this next show. It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm afraid. I'm slightly afraid.
We're very much looking forward to January, man. It's going to be awesome.
Good. It should be. It should be a lot of fun.
And I'm they've announced what, 5, maybe 6 matches so far.
They just announced one today about me shit my pants.
Yeah.
Great.
Manser and
Macklin.
Yeah.
Yes,
Awesome.
please talk about a knockdown, drag out fight, and that's all these matches, man. It's getting ridiculous.
Those two,
Yeah.
man. Oh my god.
It's gonna be nonstop. We're gonna need a fucking breather. Everything.
James.
How you doing, buddy?
So Phil, how long have you been with Revolver? Because obviously we've been coming for close to 2 years now, and you've been there that whole time. But how long have you been with them? Like since the inception,
Yep.
or
Okay. Since the very first event. I wasn't at the very first event, but I've been with them before then because I started out helping Sammy get off the ground with all of our social media, doing our press work, failing at finding any sponsors, and that kind of fun stuff.
hey, you got us now.
Gonna
Let's
call
go.
us?
Now we do. Now we have like awesome sponsors, which is great.
Well, it's an easy sale, and all you got to do is witness the product, and it just literally just sucks you in. Like we always say, Mox sold us the ticket to our first show, but Revolver made us fans and kept us coming back.
Awesome.
For sure. And Cephas, you've kind of said this a couple times. Revolver definitely feels like and not just Revolver, but all of independent wrestling. It feels like a swell right now is happening. And you guys, especially just this past year, it feels like it's like, how are they going to top that show? And then you do every time. It's wild.
You guys have got people like us. Now, don't get me wrong. We're not your average wrestling nerds. We go a little harder than others, but you guys have got us driving to fucking Iowa. And now we're going to be going to Texas in February.
Awesome.
Dude.
What are you guys? You guys are putting on that good of shows that you're dragging Ohioans to Texas. That doesn't, that's like I said, we are the extra level mark. Don't get me wrong, but it's still saying something to get us to come that far because I don't go that far for nothing else.
I can't remember which event it was, and I was I was dealing with something with like press or tickets, and I was getting questions from fans about like, hey, I have a question about the event. I'm looking at them, I'm like, wait a minute, where are you coming from? Oh, we're flying in from California. We're dropping from Texas. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is what we're doing? And like that has been the coolest part of Revolver, and to see it evolve into what it's now and knowing what might be coming next is just like exciting. And wanting to see more and more of that growth.
Yeah. They were talking about that swell, and I gotta say, I mean, if Revolver isn't at the top of the top of that heat pile, I mean, they got to be arguably in the conversation.
There's nobody putting on better succinct shows that tell a story. Like the only other indie competitor that you could even hold to that would maybe be GCW, but at this point, I feel like GCW's kind of lost its fucking direction. So for me, as an indie wrestling nerd, best way to put it, I obsess with this shit. There's nothing better, man. And it's not just because we're sponsors. It has nothing to do with that. Really, I like good product, and I want to be a part of good product. So,
well, thank you. I mean, that's awesome. I'm like I said, like it. The evolution of it is just awesome, and I joke with some people because it's like you don't know how much duct tape and string sometimes we have behind the scenes holding up the walls, and then like we put it all together, and people don't know, and the spectacle of it all comes out, and it's like this is awesome. Like it's really amazing, and it's hard sometimes for me to go like, did we do a good job this time? I don't know, because I feel so close to it that it's hard for me sometimes to take that step back and look at it objectively, because I'm the one that one of the real reasons Sammy and I sometimes will have like contention with each other is because I'm like, I don't know if that really went well or not, and he's what are you talking about? Like, it was great. You just love it.
Sounds exactly like him.
I say I love everyone's got a Sammy impersonation,
and they're all different.
But they all also have the same core. They all got this. And flip flops.
It's like a pirate. It's like a pirate comes to the Midwest and then starts shaking his head.
That's the greatest analogy I've ever.
That might be my Sammy sign. It's like a pirate that came to the Midwest shaking his head.
Oh god.
Oh wow.
Oh man. I tell you what, it's and not only do we get solid core people that are there every week, you guys go out of your way to pull out people that have never been over here. Like, Kaito, for example. I mean, not that Emmy's not been anywhere over here because she's been in America a lot, but Emi Sakura. I mean, there's so many people you guys go this extra level to bring in, and it's just like, who are they going to bring in next? You know what I mean? And
a pirate with a mouthful.
And I want to remind everyone, because this is about 6 years old, because it just popped up in my Facebook memories. There was a time when Sammy was like, if you ever see me with dip in my mouth, I want you to punch me in the face, because he was trying to cold cut dip out. And then like 2 weeks later, it was back in his face. And it's like, has anybody ever punched him for it? Because he definitely deserves it.
You know what? This one's for you, Sammy.
Oh, boo.
Sammy's gonna put like 3 times the amount in there.
That's all I had left.
He doesn't have portion control. Like,
it's all I had left in the can, to be fair.
Oh shit!
All right, I'm good now.
They are like, I've been a dipper for quite a while, and I remember the first time I saw him with a dip, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, man! Like, how much are you spending on dip? You're putting a quarter can in every time you throw one in.
I mean, my grandmother and one of my uncles chewed, and like I remember the big old tin that they had next to their chair. It's like
yeah.
You get some PTSD from that. You get a whiff of it, or accidentally take a sip or something like that. Yeah, I get it.
5-year-old putting his hand down, like, oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
So, man, what about the latest development for Revolver? You guys have went live on Patreon. That is a cool thing, man. I feel like that's a really cool place for people to get extra stuff, which we've actually, I don't know how much you've talked to Sammy, but we've actually talked to Sammy about doing some stuff for your guys' Patreon. Which,
awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna corner him when we see him in January, and we're gonna be like, so let's do this.
Good. He
You know?
he needs
Tickle
that.
fight.
Yeah, we're gonna bring cereal, and we're gonna try to persuade him with honey bunches of oats.
Throw. Oh.
We're just gonna
Just
all
gonna
be
peck him with
eating
cereal.
just dry eating honey bunches of oats at our merch table.
We'll
Like,
get
what's
him.
up, man?
We'll get him some honey bunches of oats and some dip, and we'll
I'll
be
get
like,
him.
"Hey,
I'll get him a
dog."
roll of Grizz Wintergreen, and we'll be all right.
Oh Lord,
I
That's
don't
all,
know.
that's all he needs.
you got to know where to butter your bread, man.
That's right. But yeah, we had kind of talked about maybe doing some Patreon exclusive episodes and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm sure we
What
can
is-
figure some stuff out.
So what is the starting? I'm not really, I guess, savvy when it comes to the Patreon and what all that kind of involves. Can
So
you-
Patreon is just like an exclusive Twitter, right? Kind of in a way. I mean, you can post whatever you want, but it's like an exclusive, like paid for social, from what I understand, right?
Right. Sometimes it'll be discounts to merch or access to exclusive merch. It might be free content that we're not going to put anywhere else. So you can only get it from there. I know there's the different tiers, and I'll be honest, I have not committed them to memory. But within the different tiers, there's opportunities too. So there might be, I mean, we've talked about how we could record a match that wouldn't appear on Fight TV that you can only get on Patreon. Other things like that. Sammy's talked to me about doing some interviews with people or some other video content. So like I'm trying to figure that out
Right.
because very Sammy like, hey, we've been talking about doing a Patreon for months. It's like, okay, okay, that's great. And then when it went live, none of us knew that it was going live. It's like, all right, great.
and
So now we have to do all the content for it. And
Do
I
we
know-
have content? Shit.
Right. And Sammy has a plan. Like, and he's been gathering content. Like when he put out a teaser photo of like Mox and Marina Shafir
The
behind
Marina,
the scenes.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I
And
saw
it was
that.
like, oh, like okay, so he's
That's cool.
gathered a lot of content to like
Right.
get some things together. But it starts at $5 a month. It goes up to $25 a month. And so a lot of it's already spelled out for what's going to be there. But plus we're planning a lot more other secret surprise content coming up.
Well, I'm just saying, if you guys need backstage interviewers, we know a few guys.
You need some lackeys. Here we are. All bullshit aside, we're sponsors. At this point, I'm trying to dig in more, dog. Like I said, there's a fire that's underneath this company, and it's gonna be interesting to watch 2024 because all I see is just elevation. It's good. Revolver is gonna evolve her. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be a fucking crazy year for you guys, and I'm excited to see it. It's kicking off with a hell of a show.
I mean, we hope so too. That would be awesome. And it is a crowded market. So to that point too, we have a niche. We have a lot of attention. People are paying attention to us. We have awesome crowds everywhere we go. That first time we went to Texas, we sold it out. Dayton is typically sold out. Iowa is drawing 1,000 people. Like these are amazing things. And Tommy Dreamer was at an Iowa event.
Yep, we were
We
there.
were there.
Yeah.
We were at that one. Yeah.
And he was like, I was here for the very first one. And not gonna lie, behind the scenes, there was a little moment of Sammy and I looking at each other like, oh yeah, that's right. And he was like, I was here when there was 200 people here, and now look at what you had. Now, granted, in that moment, I think he said something like, "There's 5,000 people here." I'm like, yeah, yes, Tommy, there is. Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thanks for saying that on the camera.
Right. Say it again slowly.
Let's get
but-
this in a promo.
Right. But the fact that we're getting 1,000 is awesome. And that we've been able to build that and continue with that. And so it is a little bit of, okay, what's it going to take to do the next step? Because like you said, we try to bring in talent that a lot of people don't see. We have a lot of our regulars. We're trying to mesh together. When Revolver first started, the idea and concept was more of, well, the reason it was called Revolver was like a revolving door. You would be seeing different talent come in and rotate in, and we got away a little bit from some of as much of that concept of it because we found, our crowd actually likes some people. And so we kept that. And so now we have these storylines that are in place that people are interested in and invested in. And I think that's what makes us special, because when you look at a lot of other companies, you don't know what's happening there. Like, oh, it's these people and they're fighting. Okay. and I think our crowd cares, but also because it's people who are really experienced in wrestling and know what to do. You don't have to have had the ever since we came back from COVID knowledge of every event that's ever happened to really understand pretty quickly what's going on.
Right.
For me, I feel like it's the same concept still, because like I said earlier, you guys bring in so many different people. It's just there's people waiting in the lobby that we know who they are to kick their ass. You know what I mean? So it's like, you never know who they're going to face next week. And also, I got to bring up this comment real quick because I'm sure you've heard this before, but David Draymond, is that you?
No, I've never heard this before in my life. I get David Draymond, Howie Mandel. Not so much as I gained a little weight. But David Draymond, yeah.
Mr. Fallen, excellent to see you as well, sir. It's our guy.
heck
Just had him on a few weeks ago.
Very cool.
But yeah, like we kind of talked to Roland Tusslemania about this when we do the Revolver Rewind. He was kind of saying, like, yeah, you guys have your core roster, but maybe looking this year to get more back into the revolving door side of thing. Like, you'll still have that core roster, and still have the storylines, but they'll be a little bit more like, oh man, this person showed up, like that's wild. Like, for example, I mean, in February in Texas, freaking Leo Rush, like that sells me a ticket right there. I've seen that guy. I've never seen him wrestle live, and that would be a milestone for me. So
I mean, we were gonna have him. What was it, over the summer? But he got hurt. Actually, I was at the event he got hurt at when he re-injured his shoulder. And so it was like I was texting Sammy as it was happening, like, oh my god, we've just lost Leo.
Yeah, he was supposed to be at Heat 'em Up, wasn't he, in August?
Yeah.
Yep.
And so he was wrestling at Shamrock Cup at MCW Pro Wrestling in Maryland, and just he re-injured his shoulder. I shouldn't say like he got injured, like nothing
right
directly, but and so it's like, man, this sucks. We really wanted Leo back, but now we're gonna have him down in Texas, and even in Texas, like the fact that we've been able to introduce some of the wrestlers in Texas onto Revolver, and now people who are watching Revolver are seeing them. Guys like a Barrett Brown, who's been with New Japan, and is I think he just my brain was like, did he just also appear in NWA? But I might have that wrong. That you get to see an Aaron Eagle, that you get to see Scorny.
Brick Savage.
Yeah, Brick Savage is a beast.
Holy
Brick
shit.
Savage is an amazing monster of a human being that I hope we get to work with more and more and more.
Yeah, I want
to. Dude, you know what that just made me think of though? Mike knows who I'm talking about, the Big Propaganda boys. When we go down Big Propaganda Wrestling podcast.
Oh yeah.
We got to see if they're close and see if they'll come to the show with us, because they just had Brick Savage on one of their shows.
Oh, very cool.
Shit.
Yeah.
I'm actually from Texas. For those
shout out Big Prop.
Tattooed on my hands, so any reason to go back home for a little bit sounds fun to me. And then these guys, they've now went down there, so why not, right?
Yeah.
Let's travel down. Hopefully, we get some crazier matches announced. I don't think we even have a match. We only have a couple people announced for that show.
So I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say candidly, this was not the name of the event that I thought Sammy and I discussed. So, because there were like 3 different names flying in the air, and now I'm like, Wrestling Revolver, what a show!
The Whataburger logo,
right? My brain's like, where did I miss it? Where did that happen? What is the show referencing? That like now I have to figure out something.
People in
I don't
Texas get it. Yeah,
I love Whataburger, so I went and stole that the last time I was there. You know what I mean? So when I saw that, I was just like, oh, this is for me.
What's the other big franchise that down there? Is it In-N-Out?
In-N-Out.
In-N-Out is California.
Yeah.
But it's down there too. It's basically the Burger King and McDonald's are down there. Is In-N-Out and Whataburger, and In-N-Out is okay. It's not bad, but it's definitely no fucking Whataburger. Yeah, there's a reason that Hank Hill eats at Whataburger and not at fucking bullshit In-N-Out. That's all I'm saying.
I've been to Whataburger now twice. I've yet to be at an In-N-Out.
What about Jack in the Box?
I
Any
have
place
not
that
been to
includes a
Jack
taco with every meal is okay with me.
Yeah. Speaking of tacos, Taco John's. Every
We
time
need to
I
go back to Taco John, man. It's so
Taco
good.
John's.
Gosh.
Yeah,
Ever been to a cookout? Like that's more of a like a
Good dude.
Southern
No,
Mediterranean-
but I did get invited to one.
Cookouts
Hey.
is the fucking shit. I love cookouts so much.
Or an iron skillet. That shit's good too.
Yeah, Cookout. Shout out to them. Like they're one of the last few that like haven't really raised their prices all that much. Like you can still get a decent meal for a couple
We're
bucks
not
or
even
whatever.
sponsored.
Not even sponsored. Sponsors
Not even
Cookout.
sponsored.
It's a damn good place to eat.
You get a cheer line float.
Yeah, like what do I always get there? Cheese curds. Oh, they're just so good. But yeah, shout out to it. I'll definitely be trying Whataburger when we come down though. I'm pumped for it.
Oh yeah, dude. It's literally like one of the main reasons where I'm like, yeah, I gotta go. This gives me a
Is
reason
there
to get there.
is there one close to the venue down there? You remember?
I can almost guarantee you the second you get into the top right of Texas, it's like they're speckled everywhere. So
I know
It's
there's a lot
Dunkin'
between where we,
Donuts in Boston.
I know there's a lot of between where we stay and the venue, but not immediately
Okay.
near the venue. Yeah.
Right. I'm sure we'll
They'll be
figure it out.
found.
We'll
I'm
figure it out.
excited to see that venue in person because on Fight TV it has like a feel to it, like a weird, like different feel that is I don't know. And I want
Battleground almost,
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
like fight pit kind of feel.
yeah.
It's like part of my brain because I'm logistically like this too. I'm like, what can we do that might be different the next time we go? So like, when I say I was going to say the word pit, but it's like a 3 or 4 story structure. There's balcony levels all the way up, and you can see down to the ring from. And
Oh.
so it's big and open. And when I first got there, I was like, oh, because sound will reverb away. And no, like that crowd is so loud that
Yeah.
sound just resonates right there,
Oh.
which is awesome. And the venue itself is cool. The Epic is amazing. And the side that we're on, it's like it has a gym, indoor elevated tracks, fitness center, kids
Wow,
daycare
okay.
center, an event space. Then there's another building 10 feet away from it that's an indoor water park.
Ah,
It slices, it dices.
Right. So when we were first going down, the first time we went down and we were telling people, yeah, we have a wrestling event. We're at the Epic. They were like, the water park? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, WCW
now I
did it
feel
inside of
like-
a mall, so I mean, what the hell?
That has to be incorporated into a match somehow.
And
like
a
a false
really,
count anywhere.
We have
Yeah.
talked about like when it's warmer, but not Texas summer warmer, that
Right.
like we need to be outside because it's also along the water. And so like, can we do it outside? So we've
Oh.
talked, but that doesn't mean like we're implementing. We've had a
Right.
discussion.
No,
and
I
a
just
elaborately
think
long water
like a-
slide lariat.
like a rest hold going down a water slide or like trying to pin going to, that'd be amazing.
I need content for Submission Hold Sunday. So like I'm gonna do that.
That's amazing.
I'm gonna surfboard somebody on a water slide.
God. That'd be impressive.
Social media wise, do you single handedly put together the wrestling schedule that you post? Is that
Mhm.
something that? Holy crap, that's a lot of work, man. That's it's impeccable too, man. It's like it's very well organized. If you guys aren't familiar, he posts basically it's like a schedule that goes. I'm not exactly sure how far you go out with it, but it goes out pretty decently far to let you know everything that's coming, like everywhere.
Right now, it has everything I know of until the end of 2024.
Like that's
Wow.
insane.
Yeah. So I used to use because it was when I would try to cut and paste and coding, I used to have it in a Word document and that messed everything up. So it was in Notepad.
Shit.
And I would email it to myself to work on it because maybe allegedly in free time in my office, I might have worked on it. Sometimes.
Allegedly.
And so then I realized, oh, wait a minute, there's this thing called Google Docs. And so let me
Yeah.
use Google. So now I just log into that if I'm waiting for a meeting to start. Oh, I see a couple events. Let me throw it on there.
There you go.
And then once every few months, I'll do a massive update, which is I also have a running list of promotions. I was actually trying to pull it up on my other screen just to see like where am I with my total number of promotions that I'm trying to track. But it's like 1,000 promotions around the world right now that I'm 987 that I'm
Holy
actively
shit, dude.
tracking.
13 more people really need to start a promotion just so even round.
Nice
1,000.
even number.
Right. Actually, well, I just realized there's one in West Virginia that I just saw is starting up. It's ran out of the Power Slam Wrestling Academy with Chance Prophet and Jason Kincaid. And they're putting it together. I'm gonna lie if I say that in my brain is like wrestling is fun, but I know it's not wrestling is fun. But it's something like that. And so they're starting up in the new year. So that'll be number 988.
Boom.
That's insane. That just shows like I already know for sure. Like if I run into you at some kind of event that isn't wrestling, we're hanging out because we're kindred spirits, man. Like pro wrestling is my crack, and I see that you are obviously addicted as well.
Yeah. I'm addicted in a whole other way. Like this has been part of my life for the majority of my life. I had a job interview, I guess 3 months ago. And wrestling came up and I did not bring it up. They were like, we looked you up and I was like, in my brain, I know where this is going. And I did not get the job because of pro wrestling. And I was like, wait a minute. and it was so funny because it was like one of these giant Zoom calls. There's 13 people on the call. And the only question this one person asked me about was my social media presence and what happens when somebody disagrees with me being in wrestling, being in contradiction to the value of the institution I would be working for. And I thought I actually answered it really well in the spur of the moment. And that was his only question. And so I was like, oh, okay, I know exactly what's happening next. And I didn't get the job. So
wow,
that's horse manure. That guy's missing out. I hope whoever he gave the position to is just really terrible and leave stains on the chairs.
I had
leave stains on the chairs.
Love it. I have somebody who he was a previous supervisor of mine, and before he was my supervisor, he was a rival, like an office rival in a way of mine. I just disliked him. A lot of people disliked him. Well, he went to the executive committee of where I worked, and they were talking about regular business. Well, somehow he introduced a wrestling promo I had cut into the conversation to try to get me in trouble. And somebody else who I knew on the committee was like, yeah, this is how he brought it up. He was really trying to out you in some bad way. And everybody, they were like, they thought it was fun. They thought it was good. The promo apparently came off really well. And I was like, oh, great. And he was so mad that I didn't get in trouble.
So you got over with them and
right.
Hey, gotta love that, man. So you said it's been a part of your life, most of your life. What was there a moment that made you fall in love with wrestling? We kind of tend to ask that to just about everybody.
I mean, I was a kid. I was a fan, and I knew. I mean, wow, this is so indicative of my life in many ways. At 11 years old, I wrote to like WWE and WCW. Like, I think kids should wrestle. Why aren't we wrestling on? And I got a response. I got 2 responses from WCW. And it was funny because part of it was like, hey, listen, you have to be 18. You have to go to a training school. And by the way, buy our book on promotions and training. I never bought the book. I wish I had. So basically, it was a big pitch just to buy whatever this book was. And so I knew at like 11 years old, you have to go get trained. You have to know the business. And so it was like, I knew super early as a fan, okay, I want to get involved and I want to do this. And I know what I need to do as I get bigger. So
there you go.
I was going to ask if you got a guaranteed contract from them too, but
that would be nice.
Everybody back then did apparently.
So back when I think it was GeoCities was the thing. I had a website that was talking about wrestling rumors. It was like WCW by Phil Stamper. And it was my own little sheet. And
Suck it, Wrestling Observer.
I was getting fed info, but I didn't know I still to this day don't know who it was. And it was like I was putting it up, and then suddenly it was like these things are actually happening. this is really weird.
You actually had a source, yeah.
And then like I eventually realized like somebody was playing me because it was something, whatever they told me, the opposite sort of like happened. And I realized like, oh, it might be somebody who's like really feeding. At the time I had no idea of like analytics, so I don't really know how popular that site got, but I was like, I think I'm gonna stop now.
Yeah.
It was probably Glenn Gilberti, fucking Disco Inferno. Sounds like something he'd do.
But yeah, man, that's for us, we all kind of had our moments. Like for me, it was watching Foley get thrown off the cage by Undertaker. Like that was my like, holy shit. You know, I was a fan for a little bit, but then that was like, oh my God. But that's funny that yours was just like, I should be able to wrestle. I'm going to talk to them about it. Like that's
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna write a
do
letter.
this thing.
I'm gonna write somebody a kindly worded letter about this.
Right.
we just ignored all the warnings that said do not try this at home and did it anyway.
Right.
You know.
I
But
grew up around a lot of it, man. Being from Texas at a young age, that shit was a wild place to grow up and watch indie wrestling. I got to see Daniel Bryan and Spanky win tag team titles in Texas. So, you know, that shows you how long ago I got to see some indie wrestling.
But like Texas was one of the states that had like the sample population of wrestlers in Texas that were also being seen in the WWE and WCW felt like a bit skewed. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
and you know, I also got like ESPN Classic, and like you were watching 80s World Class Championship Wrestling.
Yep.
And it was like, oh wow, Texas! Look at everybody that came through Texas, and
Everybody went to Texas.
The old Sportatorium. Hell yeah.
That was cool to go back for WrestleMania 38, or was that 39? It was 38. Yeah, 39 was LA.
Speaking of which, purchased our tickets for Iron Claw.
Fuck yeah. I thought you were about to say you purchased WrestleMania tickets. I was like, you bitch. You didn't hit me up first. Make sure we try to purchase near each other. Like,
No, I wasn't going to do something like that, you see. Just come on now.
so do you travel and watch big events like that too, or do you just kind of stick with the indie stuff now? Or
I really don't. Because I work in wrestling, and so like when I travel for wrestling, it's because I'm working for a company. That's just my travel. And the few times that I've done like events during WrestleMania weekend, I've never gone to Mania.
Really?
When I stayed in New Orleans, I stayed with a friend of mine, and he was working the day of, and during the day of, somebody gave him WrestleMania tickets, but he didn't get home until like 9 o'clock at night, and he's like, "Yeah, we're not going to Mania." And I was like, "That's like totally fine." And so I watched it in New Orleans while we were in New Orleans. That was like probably the closest I got.
That was what was that? The Hardys.
Hardy?
That was the Hardys comeback, wasn't it?
Was that the Hardys? That one?
It was either 30 or 34.
Oh my
30 and
gosh.
34 were
No, because Hardys was the year after, because Hardys came out in Manhattan, I thought. Or not Manhattan, in New York. What, didn't they?
Was it?
No.
New York?
No,
No, I could have swore it was
was
New
there.
Orleans. I don't know. I can't remember.
Either way.
But so how originally did you get linked? You said you've been with Revolver since the inception. How'd you get linked up with Sammy originally? What was that meet cute like?
I mean, Sammy and I had known each other for a long time. It was weird. So when he started, I had already been around, and he sent a message to me about liking the gear I had at the time. And so we would passively talk, like we hadn't met. And I remember I was working for a company called Pro Wrestling Syndicate, and I tried to get him at Pro Wrestling Syndicate. I tried to get and Pro Wrestling Unplugged at the time, and it's weird because I remember like a promoter was like, "No, we don't. Who's this guy? Why am I almost doing the Sammy voice? Why do we need this guy from Ohio? Who is he and what can he do?" And I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, I think you need to pay attention." And then within a year, not only did Pro Wrestling Syndicate bring him in, he was their heavyweight champion, and it was like, this is why. And then we both worked CZW, and that's probably where we got to know each other a lot better. And after when he came back after his NXT run, that's probably when we became closer, and we just talked a lot. And so when he was bringing Revolver, he talked to me about it first and was like, I'm not there yet. It's gonna happen. This is what I'm gonna do. I was like, all right, cool. Just let me know. And then a couple months later, we were running our first event in Iowa.
Wow. So the first event was in Iowa. I was actually curious about that. Now, is that something? I haven't looked at the YouTube to see how far back it goes, but like for the Patreon, like putting like old, like original matches, like I'm assuming you guys have, all that footage and stuff like that, but putting like that stuff like that on there. And
yeah, we have all that old footage. I'm not sure how he's divvying it up. If it's like come watch older full events, if it's matches or selective I'm not exactly 100% sure how that's being
save it for the network.
Right.
Yeah.
The Revolver Network.
Yeah.
Hey man, it can happen.
Right.
We'll take the midnight hour.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we are drawing in some of our venues better than some other companies that have television.
Oh,
did I say that out loud? I'm so sorry.
What? But yeah, man, it's just Revolver as a whole. Like me and Mike went to a show. I can't even remember what the first one we went to was, but like Mike said, Mox sold us the ticket. But after our first event, we were like, we got to go back. Like, who even cares if Mox is on? Like, it'd be cool to see him, but we fell in love with. I mean, I remember we both fell in love with Crash. Our very first event, we were like, "Who is this fucking guy?" He's enormous and agile, and
we got to meet Dan the Dad.
Got to meet Dan the Dad. That was cool. We gimmicked up our very first event, dressed like straight up dads, like jean shorts, the whole 9 yards. It was pretty dope. We might need to bring that back at some point.
Didn't notice until this moment how much, Mike, you look like Dan the Dad.
Thank you.
Like you just need the glasses, and it would be like.
It's a mix between Dan the Dad and Mike Bennett.
That's awesome,
isn't it?
That's on target.
Yeah,
I've been called worse.
Yeah, just shape your head, you'll be all right. He would never.
I had before.
But yeah, man,
it doesn't grow back.
It doesn't.
Yeah, you had some hair not too long ago. A few weeks ago, wasn't it?
Me?
No, Phil.
I think I know what he's talking about. But I'm gonna be polite and just shake my head.
Okay, well, I thought I saw a picture of you with some hair. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think that was hair, man. I think
was it something like
that?
Oh no!
It's really one of those.
Of all of the pictures, too, you found my least favorite one of them.
So, what is that? Just is that a new hairstyle?
I'm not done. That does look kind of neat. If I could,
you're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
It's so perfectly applicated. Of all the skewer jobs I've seen in pro wrestling, that shit looked like it was fucking made for your head. Like I don't.
Well, Phil, got news for you. We brought in a special guest tonight. They missed you. Here they are tonight. It is the Skewer family. Oh, Phil, we missed you. We shot it down.
Oh, man.
Why am I now waiting for like a row of people in Dayton with just skewers in their hands?
Well, you just gave us a great idea. Thanks, Phil.
Wasn't before, but
it looks like I'm going to be bringing some skewers to hand to the crowd.
Oh, and where do we sit? Right at the
right at the
entrance. Oh, that's weird. That's what we need to do. We need to get some hats with skewers taped to it. Everybody puts hats on with skewers.
Shit.
It'll be or bald caps.
Bald caps
with skewers.
Yes. Revolver can make money right there, man.
Let's go. That's
Bald
merch. Sells itself, baby.
Get your own Phil hat.
So that was the first time I've ever had skewers in my head. And
really? Okay.
Yeah, and the moment I was like, when do I pull these suckers out? Because I was like, I want to make sure. I don't know when's the right time to pull them out. And I had this moment where I was gonna just reach and grab, and I was like, people are gonna like start throwing up if they see me do it. And I'm glad I didn't when I got to the back. Now some were falling out. Like you'll watch the video and like a couple like fall out. And I got to the back, I pulled one, no problem, went for another one. Why isn't it coming out of my head? And so I double-handed it and pulled, and like there was somebody near me who was like, and I didn't think of the physics of skewers in my head, and like, oh well, they went in like this and then flopped. I shouldn't try to pull out like this. I should pull up and then out.
Yeah.
And nobody told me any different. I didn't know any different, and so I learned.
I was gonna say, what was that healing process like?
I mean, can't even see it now. So
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good.
it was like about right.
Oh yeah,
Like
here
it
we
never
go.
even happened.
Josh saying I still have my Matt Cardona sign. We sit by you guys every time. We were
That-
responsible. That was us.
I know that was you guys. You guys were awesome. That visual of all the signs as Matt came out was just amazing.
Yeah.
Just a slight spoiler. We're doing something even grander for the 25th. I'm going to make 100 of these. So I made 30 of those. I'm making 100 of these.
We're going bigger and better.
It may have something to do with the show title.
Yeah, it may have to
Okay.
do with the main event. So
Okay.
Don't worry, it's not 100 signs for you in your head.
I was starting to get a little nervous.
oh my god damn.
I
What did I
they
do to
have-
these guys?
Hold on. They do have two. They're two-sided. So, you know.
But what would you do? Just like draw a circle with like these lines? Like nobody would understand.
I don't know.
Hey,
We
man,
could
we
probably
got some
tell
artists in
everyone.
the family. I'm sure we could think of something.
And we can just tell everyone in the crowd, be like, hey, these represent skewers and Phil's head. So,
I mean, literally, we could just print out 100 copies of that.
Dude, that had been
picture.
so. These are sharp, man. That had to
100 copies of that on signs.
Right. It was not a pleasurable experience. Oh, you're testing it. I
Ow.
didn't see it.
like
Yeah, they poke. I mean, it was going in. I was like, okay, ow. The whack that Sammy does, I was like, yeah, it's gonna hurt. That's just gonna hurt. What I didn't expect, I'm laying there on the ground, and I was lifting my head up, and I was like, oh, the weight of them flopping down.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
gotta
not-
like.
it didn't hurt more. It was just like, oh, I did not expect that sensation.
a weird pressure.
Was it like pulling at the skin on your scalp type thing?
I guess
Like,
that was part of it. I mean, remember, they're inside my head, so there's that
right.
you're feeling that, and then it's like drag.
Oh, yeah,
And so,
it's
like,
got to be weird.
You'll see me come when I get up, and like one of them, I think kind of went like a wobble, and it was like, oh,
So, did you get any? I don't know, if there's any of your family members that follow you on social media, but did you get any aunts or uncles or grandmas, grandpas like, Phil, honey? Like,
so far, and I'm waiting, because some people at my office job follow me in wrestling, and they didn't understand quite what was happening. So I'm going on the hopefulness that any family members who saw it didn't quite understand it either.
Right.
I could just
And
see a
None
grandparent.
of them have asked me
Oh,
about it.
no.
we're concerned.
I don't like
Speaking
when
of
Philly does
that
the
whole thing,
wrestling.
though, is the unit okay?
Ugh.
Of course,
Can we still trust in the unit?
Unit's fine. Unit's fine. Trust him, Phil.
right?
Preston
Yeah.
Phil.
What do you
All
say?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, JT Dunn and Sammy Callahan, last man standing. Woo,
I can't believe that's
buddy.
we're having that match and it's not the main event. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like that's a main event caliber match right there.
Dude, because I mean, we said it before. JT Dunn doesn't put on a bad match, man. He is like the Seth Rollins of fucking wrestling involved.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, of course, there's the whole question in my mind of like, has Sammy actually booked the flight this time? I'm so gonna eat shit for this.
And this right here is why you end up like this.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's why that smile. on his
Look
face.
at the smile on Sammy's face.
As I've hinted around, like I've known Sammy for a long time. We just don't always happen to agree. And when it comes to Revolver, there's a lot of things we don't agree about. And him and me and him and JT and the way all of that has meshed together has literally messed with our heads and don't. That was not a pun, but it now is a pun. And and so like I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to see them just go at it because they did face off each other when Takeshita got stuck in Atlanta and couldn't finish his flight to Dayton.
Yes.
And so out comes Sammy, and it's like, oh, so you're just gonna surprise JT like that? Okay, cool. Yeah, that's fair. And so now everybody knows what's happening. Now we know it's going to be a last man standing match. So walking into the event, we already know what it's going to be.
Good old fashioned slobber knocker
is what it's going to be.
And so, you know, JT and I still need to have a conversation. We haven't since that night.
Okay.
So
where's that? We haven't seen the old Allie in a while.
Yeah.
She was a staple, like our first few Revolver shows, and you know, I guess we were kind of spoiled by that. You know,
She made my kid cry, man.
What did Allie do? I'm afraid to ask. What did Allie do?
You don't remember that?
Oh,
fuck them kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my kid.
And we turned around and was immediately just.
Yeah, the video I have of that, the look on her face, she was pissed. She was all right, though.
In return, you know, like we talked about earlier, Emi Sakura came out and gave her an awesome moment. So she's had her share of fantastic moments as well.
She gave her medallion that she got at the Grand Prix, like signed it for her and everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So many of those in the world exist. And Emi's got one.
Yeah, that was, and that's the other thing. Like, I know Revolver is definitely, you know, more hard hitting and stuff like that, but the fact that I can still bring my 8-year-old and she can have a fucking awesome time means the world to me. So
yeah, and
I see other people bringing their kids too, which is great. It's awesome.
She's not going to school and beating kids up and swearing at people and stuff like that.
She did one day bring her action figures to school and set up wrestling training on recess, from what I was told.
Nice.
Yeah, she did not like with the other kids, but just like, so this is how they do it, you know, like that kind of thing. So
yeah, I had a friend
got a mind for it.
Bring his kids, and I was like, "Well, do you say fuck around your kids?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Then you can bring them to Revolver."
You're good. Yeah.
That's about as bad as you're gonna get as a fuck bomb here.
Yeah, I mean, like, who doesn't talk like that? Like they say, that's how normal humans talk.
Yeah.
I was listening to Pat McAfee and like the preemptive thing today was like, you might hear cuss words because that's how real people actually talk.
This is how humans in the real world talk.
Yeah.
Ty Schmidt doing the Lou Holtz impression. It's amazing every time. But yeah, man. So last man standing. So hopefully between now and January 25th, you and JT get to have a conversation. If not, you're still in your man's corner.
I mean, I will always have JT's back. Whether or not I will be physically in his corner is a whole other conversation.
All right. I guess we'll see come January 25th. Get your tickets now.
You can make sure, though, that I will not be in Damian Chambers' corner because that was a big old mistake. Damian Chambers lasted not even one full day in the unit. That was a mistake.
What the heck, man?
Chambers is the fucking man. What's wrong with you?
You would think it would work. You would think it would have been a perfect fit, but you know.
I honestly did. When he came out, I was like, oh, this is genius. And then it crumbled real quick. Yeah.
The world only makes sense if you force it to.
And because Allie wasn't there. So, you know, whatever's going on with Allie
heck?
too.
Not catching her flights and shit. Bullshit.
Shit happens.
Maybe we'll see Allie in Dayton. We'll see.
On top of that, though, we're gonna get to see our buddy Jake Christ take the championship off of Alex Shelley and become Jake 2 titles You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be awesome. So
Mhm.
we
Did we ever
Big
find that picture of Alex Shelley that our PI turned up?
cat shit?
Yeah.
No, I don't know where that was. We have lost it somewhere, but
Let me see if
we
I
hired
can-
a private investigator to do some work on Alex Shelley and caught him eating cat shit. So
Yeah, pretty gross, man.
it's true.
He's
It's
a
true,
felon
bro.
He's a
It's
felon individual. I mean,
yeah,
just
it's
I'm sure Mike's digging through the archives right now. We got a lot of dirt on a lot of people, you know.
it's a deep cut.
But yeah, man, that like I'm selfishly I'm okay with that not happening in Iowa, so we get to witness it live. Which we were bummed out we didn't get to go to Iowa, but you know, holiday season and all, a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that season finale was awesome, and this show right here in Dayton is just going to kick off 2024, and it's going to kick it off in a big fucking way. I mean, we were talking to Tussle about the tag team match, which I know is yet to be announced on social media, but we talked about it on the Revolver Rewind. GYV coming to Dayton, baby. Ooh,
I can't
That's-
wait.
I mean, you know, they are who they are, so they were already turning heads before they came to Revolver, and you know,
Right.
now they're at Revolver. They when they left Revolver, they were on their way to the next event that they were heading to, and they were like, "Where's the footage? We want the footage now."
Yeah.
Like they were so happy with what they had done to the Rascals that, you know, they wanted the world to see.
Oh, it was great.
Don't blame him. That was a great show.
So there's a lot of great things I think are going to happen with them in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that. I mean, I always was a big fan of them in NXT, and obviously the matches they had with I know they weren't called the Rascals in NXT, but Zach and Wes, what were they, MSK or something like that. You know, they had history with them there, and the continuity of that into Revolver is pretty awesome. And then you throw SGC and Red in there, and it's like, well, shit. This is going to be something. And with Macklin and Mance having a match, we know who the two are going to be from Red and SGC. So that just makes me that much more excited.
I see you found the picture.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, here's proof.
Oh no.
Alex Shelley eats cat shit right here. Proof.
Yeah, all the proof.
Disgusting.
What a foul human being. He kicks
About-
people in the dick.
Can we say that spatula's from Prestige, like that William Quintana like handed it to him?
How about that on a couple of signs on January?
I think that there might
25th?
be another version that's actually embroidered in on there.
Yeah, let me tell you, I'm gonna break down a fourth wall here, but I absolutely motherfucking despise him as a character, right? And I go absolutely ape shit while he's in the ring. When we were in Iowa, we stuck around till after late, and we had such a nice moment after the show, and it blew my mind because it was like in my head, I only associate Alex Shelley with his character. So to have a moment of real life person with him, it was just like, whoa, hold on. I hate you. Like I'm not supposed to feel warmth.
Dude, just like the Motor City Machine Guns and Eric Young rolled by me and were like, "Have a good night, guy." And was like, "Oh my god."
Where are we? We're just a bunch of marks. That's all.
That's another selfish reason that we love Revolver is little moments like that, you know. Getting to a show and being like, "Oh, hey, what's up, guy that I've been a fan of for fucking years."
Bro, Tommy Dreamer introduced himself to me. It wasn't like, "Oh, hi, Tommy, how are you?" It was, "Hey, I'm
Tommy Dreamer.
I know who the fuck you are, Tommy.
Right.
I've seen you before."
Please
You
tell
don't
me
have to introduce yourself.
Did he totally do that? That's
No,
awesome.
he said,
Yes.
"Hi, I'm Tommy." He said, "Hi, I'm Tommy." He didn't
Hi,
say,
I'm
"Hi,
Tommy."
I'm Tommy Dreamer," but if he'd have said,
Like,
"Hi, I'm
oh,
Tommy
hi,
Dreamer," I'm not
person
gonna
at
give a
this
shit.
indie wrestling event. There's no way you know who I am.
Well, see,
There's only-
he called me out and said my fucking record was bullshit. So now I have a small amount of Twitter beef with him until he brings me on the show. He told me he's like, "We're going to have to bring you on Busted Open, you know, I can call you out on your record being bullshit." He's like, "I've been wearing wrestling shirts for 20 years. You don't have fucking documentation, Tommy. You don't have
Mm,
documentation. I have time-stamped videos every fucking day.
Proof is in the
day.
pudding.
Bring it on, Tommy. Just saying. Made a marker on that so I can
What's
call
going
it
on,
out.
Dustin? Absolutely, we have the president of wrestling on. It's been a long
Hey,
time
Dustin.
coming, man.
very glad
Long
to see
time
Dustin.
coming.
Dustin's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I came to the realization that the unit was not just a Revolver thing. They're kind of all over.
Yeah.
Can you give me a little background on like who else is in it? Because I'm not familiar with everybody.
Give us the scope.
So, well, this is where some things start to get really interesting too, because right now in the faction that the unit started in New England, JT was the linchpin that put all of it together, put a whole bunch of his boys together. And then over the course of time, there have been some disagreements there. And so there is another group of the unit that is called now the Broken Unit that is not part of the main element of the unit.
Little NWO Wolfpack, I got you.
And so like there's some infighting up there with some of those guys. Many people don't know that Dengo is an official member of the unit. And so when we had him at Revolver, it was like, obviously we're going to do something with Dengo, who is a literal member of the unit. No.
No.
It's right there. Like it's already put
Story
together.
writes itself.
Right.
Yeah.
It was already written. And no. Oh,
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So I will say the New England faction is currently revitalizing itself there. Maybe there's an opportunity for us in the Midwest with the unit, because you've mentioned we haven't seen Allie in a while. We haven't seen Logan James for a while. We haven't seen Tyler in a while. So there's been other sporadic connections that we've had over the course of time that just aren't around anymore. So all right. So it's been really me and JT holding it together.
Yeah.
And so, we're still a unit.
And when he said he was done, he was referring to his last name. You know what I mean?
Right,
He said,
that's all
"I'm
he was
done." He's like, that's what he was. He's like, "That's my name. I'm done." Is what he
Right.
meant. That's all that was.
But over the course of time, let's see, there's JT, of course. There's Danny Miles, Trigger the OG, Ace Romero, Mike Verna, Dirty Dango, Chase Delamonte, Alicia Edwards, Tyler Matrix, Logan James, Allie Catch, myself, Brad Hollister,
Tommy 2 times.
Yeah, Tommy too.
They call him that because he says everything 2 times.
what? I'm missing names. My brain is like Shannon Levang, and of course we had Damian Chambers for 2 hours.
2 hours. I don't even know if it was that.
I don't think it was that.
It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
It wasn't a fit.
Thank you, Josh Brand.
You can appreciate
This
what
has
somebody
been a great
does.
show.
Appreciate
But
it, buddy.
it sometimes doesn't work the way you want it to work.
And I don't follow NWA enough to understand this comment. Maybe you guys will. Isn't Kat in the NWA group with the clowns managed by Violent J of ICP?
Yeah, it's her and Effie, I believe. It's
Okay.
Oh, Alley Catch. I was like
clown pussy is what they're calling it. Insane clown
insane
pussy.
clown pussy. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a picture of
Yeah.
them, Effie and her with the makeup.
Yeah.
I want to see.
And I didn't understand the context, so now I know it was an NWA thing.
Yeah, I love the name.
I think it's I think they did that in GCW.
Yeah.
I don't think they did in NWA because Effie
No.
won't work NWA. But
yeah. I was gonna say I've seen this stuff with our GCW with Violent J.
It might be that either way.
and speaking of which, we might see another faction having a bit of a rift right now with SGC. Mansor's doing some shit, man.
Yeah, things are happening, but that's there. That's there.
That's
And
things.
I don't know enough to know enough with what's happening between Mansoor and Effie, but you know they're gonna handle it. I mean, because now there's no
I'm
choice.
sure they will. I'm sure they will.
So even friends can fight. Like that's the thing.
That's
like,
true.
You can
Yeah.
throw down with a friend and then go out for a beer later and be like,
I
"Yeah,
mean,
let's do it."
I mean that's best of friends. I mean, I used to work at a steel mill, man, and I loved that. Like it was the kind of atmosphere. Like you have a disagreement with a guy, you go out and motherfucker at each other, and then turn around, and that was that. You know what I mean? And it was just
Mhm.
That's how it should be.
something to be said for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Holy shit, we're already at an hour, dude.
I
Bill.
gotta bring up before we go too far to give you shit for being terrible at Fortnite.
Yeah.
Listen, I was instructed.
I am ranked, sir. I don't know what you're doing over there with your life.
Listen, I just wanted to see that face.
No. The times me, you, and Tussle have played, you're very good. But
Yeah, I just
I
wanted
can't
to-
help myself when you walk past me by the entranceway. I just got to give you a little. You suck at Fortnite.
Oh fuck.
Don't worry, we'll get some chance going.
Yeah, we'll have a
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. That's
We'll come up with
Phil
something.
can't build.
Fortnite.
Phil can't build.
Phil can't
that's
build.
fair. I like zero build. No,
So do we.
I do think though if I had come into Fortnite like a couple months later, I probably would have set my controller for because I got in before they had the build configuration for the controller.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
And so I feel like I would have gone down that path. It's such a wrong, evil path.
Oh god, so bad.
It's a good season though right now. We'll have to get a game or two in, man. Fucking run a few rounds.
Turtles.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hey, fucking 4 turtles. And speaking of which, did you get your turtle yet, Mr. Rig? Have you even turned the fucking game on since I bought you your birthday turtle, you piece of shit?
Not yet. Okay.
Wow. He's just floating around in fucking gift fucking what is it, purgatory.
Purgatory.
He's just a
yeah.
fucking Raphael floating around. Will someone ever own me? Who knows?
Speaking of which,
Wow.
I got to shout out my sister for this super dope
DWO Kentucky.
DWO. It's a wood carving of the state of Kentucky, and she painted it up DWO. Gave me that for my birthday, so that was pretty
Need to
cool.
Get me an Ohio one now. Shit.
You should.
Ohio
Yeah.
chapter. Did you just flex your
Uh,
tattoo there, Mike?
A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how much fucking marks we are. I'm gonna get me a fucking
Yeah,
revolver
where's
tattoo
yours
at
at?
some point. I keep fucking going to these
You
fucking.
didn't get a revolver tattoo with the grill?
I'm down. Let's go.
Phil, you didn't get it. Not a tattoo guy.
No, I'm not a tattoo guy.
That's fair.
Oh, not even the revolver tattoo?
I have thought about it, but no, I haven't.
He
Okay.
gets piercings, but he won't get fucking.
That's
You
David.
if you
Draymond.
get
That's
it, you
not me.
just got to get that bitch right on
Yeah,
top of your head.
You just got pierced on your head, like that. So thank you for coming on, man. I'm a fan of yours. I love how fucking great you play your role. Hence why I love to support you because it pisses off.
Phil,
every
you got your
child in the
unit
crowd.
And the fact it's coming from Dustin, you turncoat.
His unit's
yeah.
got a
Even when I
unit
think I'm
logo.
respected, I'm not respected.
Well, we respect you, Phil.
There's a Cephas
We-
story about
we
that.
love everything you do. Yeah.
Does Cephas have his unit tattooed?
I have a line. I was going to get I had the stencil on, and as the needle touched my pee, I was like, yeah, let's never do that again. So there's a small line at the base of my pee.
At the base.
The more you bow. Yes, there you go.
All the questions. Okay, what was the tattoo going to be of?
Okay, see, now this is the embarrassing part, and I'm really glad I didn't do it.
Was it a
Because I-
name or was it like an image?
Oh, bro, this might be the worst thing you've ever heard of. I want to clarify that I was 19, kind of drunk, and I did not spend my money wisely then. But I was going to get a Crayola wrapper on the shaft of my penis. That
What
said
color?
Flesh.
Oh.
It's gonna be flesh colored.
You're
And
gonna have the word flesh written on the like where they put the color on the crayon.
yes, there's gonna be a flesh colored wrapper.
It's peach. Everybody knows it's peach.
Oh, that's flesh, bro.
Every human was peach crayon.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, yeah.
well,
The
Caucasian
waxy item you color with. How do you pronounce that word?
crayon.
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 Okay, I'm a little more like big. I say Crown.
Crown.
Yeah,
Crown.
I
Hold
don't
on,
know
where'd
where
you-
that comes from. No one in my family says it. I'm the
Where'd
only
you grow
person.
up?
Maryland.
Maryland?
Don't even make any
Nobody I know says it.
No. Yeah.
And then
Oh,
randomly,
shout
I'll
out
find
Maryland.
somebody-
I'm watching binge watching The Wire right now.
Oh, there you go.
Shout out to it. Good
I
old
like,
West Baltimore.
I like how randomly some people will be like, I know Maryland, The Wire. Like, thanks for that one neighborhood in Baltimore.
Right. No, I came across it on it. I needed a new show, and I was like, this has 5 seasons, and all the episodes are an hour long. That'll give me a lot to watch, and it
Sold.
hooked me. So
I mean, I was going to celebrate the fact that House of Cards was filmed near Baltimore, but that's probably not a thing to celebrate anymore.
no, probably not.
Wait,
I
so
was,
if
I
you're in
was in one
Maryland-
episode.
Were
Are
you?
I'm in the background. Total back-
Nice.
I'm in
Okay.
the Baltimore Metro, but they dress it up like the New York Metro.
Oh, okay.
Are you and I hate that I'm even asking this, but I gotta know, are you a Ravens fan?
I am,
Oh no.
but I'm not. So typically, because of travel, I'm typically not able to watch. So like, I am a passive Ravens fan.
But at least, like, okay, I can respect that. Like, if you're from like the area and like
Okay.
that's, you know what I mean. That makes sense. Like, if you,
No.
you know.
Well,
So
like,
I would love to hear the conversations, you know, and the shit talking on Sundays between you and Callahan.
oh, so Mr. Callahan, you, sir, on social media, you did this to yourself, and you bet me that if the Ravens beat the Bengals, that you would wear a Ravens jersey. Sir, where is your Ravens jersey?
Oh.
I didn't put that bet on you. You did that to yourself.
Ooh, we have. Hold on, we're gonna go ahead and shift B this motherfucker right now.
Breaking news on the TWO podcast.
He's calling him out.
Right.
I mean,
You
not
know-
that I want to see Sammy in a Ravens
know-
jersey. It would personally break my heart. But
After JT Dunn beats him this next month, you can toss a jersey on it.
Ooh, make
Oh,
that a
there you go.
stipulation.
a Ray Lewis
Yeah.
jersey, just
Lay it on over
It
him.
just happens to come on him. There you go.
Yeah.
No,
Hey,
you can't make it a good Ravens player. You got to make it like
well, you murdered him
Tyler
like Ray
Huntley or
Lewis,
something.
allegedly.
To be fair, like I grew up on the Washington Redskins and the Baltimore Orioles, and for years they
Oh,
failed me as a
John.
team. And
Yeah.
and like the first
like-
year I became a into the Ravens, they won the Super Bowl, and I'm
Right.
like, this now is my team, and I am
Yeah.
championing them. And so I switched to alliances to like the Ravens and Nationals. Now the Nationals are not doing that great, but I my brother is like the biggest Orioles fan ever, and I just can't get behind him. Like, good
No.
luck. Good luck.
I was
to
gonna
this-
say they
I had,
make
like-
the Reds look good.
I say they kind of like back in the day, they kind of had like the Reds thing. Like we had Joey Votto, who's like the one like great player, you know, the generational player on a team of just lackeys, and they had Cal Ripken Jr.
Right.
And the dude was just
Right.
you
The thing is,
Billy
like,
Ripken.
I grew up. My dad's family grew up in Indiana, just on the other side of Cincinnati, and so like I grew up on the Reds and Orioles. Like those were my teams.
Okay.
And so like and now I really don't follow either one.
Yeah. Man, professional sports are just so convoluted these days. It's all
Yeah.
and college sports are headed that way too, but this isn't that
Big-
kind of show.
Speaking of which, for anyone that might be listening and give a shit, I just want to give a big fuck you to Mike and Crash and Dave, and I believe I can't think Justin is number 4
Yeah.
for being the top 4 and going into the playoffs in our
Oh.
fantasy league.
Oh
Yeah, Mike beat me out by like a point differential or something.
Yeah, and then for the first time this year, I completely flubbed on checking my roster on Thursday, and then Keenan Allen got posted a big goose egg.
Oh
So
no!
what might have been?
killing me, man.
I don't know. Huh? Oh, well.
Well, we are super excited for January 25th, man. Cannot wait. And I'm sure we'll be in touch before then, but we'll definitely see you
sir.
there.
Thanks for coming on, man. We
absolutely.
appreciate any of the times we know you run a lot of the social media, and you've shared a few of our things here and there, and we appreciate that, man. You know, we just like we love pro wrestling, and that feels like when it loves us back. So you know,
Yeah, and
appreciate
our relationship with the Revolvers most certainly helped us exponentially.
yeah.
Well, cool.
Absolutely.
See,
Yeah.
now if you want to be a sponsor, look what can happen to you too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can be cool. That goes.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
honestly,
you can't sponsor Tusslemania. He's ours. He's our friend.
He's our
Leave him
personal.
alone.
I mean,
It's all
unless
ours.
you want to, like, they stay a sponsor and he becomes their sponsor. That way he gets like more money.
Yeah,
Mo
well, yeah.
money, Mo money.
Fine.
Yeah. If anyone wants to give Tusslemania, that's fine.
That's
Yes.
fine.
Right.
Fine, but
It's still
And-
ours.
we're
And,
still
no one else is giving me money right now. So if somebody else
Sponsor Phil.
See?
Sponsor
Sponsor
Phil. There you
Phil.
go.
He will tattoo
There you go.
your name on his forehead.
Yeah.
You heard it here. Hey, shout out to M&M's because they made peanut butter M&M's in mini form. Like, you're like,
What?
how the hell can they do that?
That's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Sponsor us,
And like I've been
M&Ms.
saying all my life, things are always better when they're littler.
That's right.
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
No.
I used to be the biggest Reese PC mark, and like I
Oh
love
hell yeah!
peanut butter
What up,
M&Ms.
Bobby?
Let's get me and Phil sponsors. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I'm okay with
Mike
that.
That's my
sponsors
boy.
Bobby too.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
What would be a good sponsor for Bobby and I? Like, we Casey's is making more. There's more and more Casey's coming through like the Ohio part of the Midwest. Like, we already get them in Iowa. Should we reach out to Buc-ee's in Texas? Buc-ee's is
Bucky's
also
be a good one.
there is now a Buc-ee's 2 hours from my house, and I have yet to go there to that
Oh,
one.
shit.
And I'm like, I'm tempted just to like randomly drive down there one day and see it.
Dude, Bucky's would be a dope sponsor just so we can get somebody in the ring with a Bucky's costume on.
Yep.
That'd be amazing.
The one time in my life I've been to a Buc-ee's, I went to the one in Florida.
Wawa.
One of the ones in Florida. No, boo wawa, boo wawa.
I just want to have somebody in revolver in a ring beating up a beaver.
Yeah. Be amazing.
Beaver Fever at Revolver.
It should be Allie.
Oh fuck. Jesus Christ.
Uh,
Oh.
There's one
you were
coming
there
to
that show, too?
Cincinnati.
There's a Buc-ee's coming to Cincinnati.
Sheets all the way.
Yeah, I'm with James. I'm a Sheets dude. Like I need more Sheets.
Josh, we're gonna need confirmation on this. There is
you better
one
believe.
like
I'm getting a Publix literally like down the street from me.
oh, they're putting a Publix down there?
Yeah. Beating up beaver.
Dang.
Yeah,
Encroaching on Kroger, man.
Fuck Kroger.
I was gonna say though, they're bringing a Publix. I'm down to go down there for a pub.
They are
sub
opening
for
their
sure.
first store in Huber Heights.
All right.
Really?
I don't really know where Huber Heights is, but
I don't
That's
either.
near. That's
I'm guessing
near
near
Dayton.
Cincinnati.
Dayton,
It's,
yeah.
Oh,
it's
okay.
more near. It's more near Dayton than Cincinnati.
Coming by the Tri-County Mall area, according to Josh. is the,
Interesting.
Tri County Mall. Okay, well that's more Cincinnati. I
No,
don't
we'll
know.
hit that up when we go to Taco John's.
that's right by my house. I can't wait for the literally January 25th. On my way to fucking Revolver, I'm stopping at Taco John's.
6-pack and a pound.
I'm getting me some fucking tacos, and then I'm gonna fucking chill in
Breakfast
the parking
Taco
lot.
John's. Let's go.
I don't know. I might show up in the middle of breakfast and lunch, so I can get a little bit of both.
Hell yeah.
Sponsor us, Taco John's.
Well, hell yeah, man. We're bringing quite a few people along with us.
We're bringing Statman from B105. I don't know if you listen to country music radio in
local
Cincinnati, but
radio station here. Yeah.
He's gonna sit front row with us and check out. It's his first ever indie show ever.
Oh wow, very cool.
Yeah, he called out wrestling a few weeks ago and said that wrestlers weren't real athletes. So I called him out and I was like, "You fucking piece of shit!" And he came on our show, and we found out he's not a piece of shit. He was misinformed and he changed his mind. So he took us
Okay.
up on the offer, and he's going to go to his first ever pro wrestling show in Dayton.
I was about to say I still need more Submission Hold Sunday content. Sorry,
He'd probably be down for something like
and I
that.
used to compete in judo and Brazilian jiu-jitsu, so I'm just saying.
choking out Statman on Sunday.
I was gonna say when we come up on January 25th, I will volunteer for Submission Hold Sunday content.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I'm in.
Now what to do?
He's like, now what do you
Yes.
want, Big Red?"
I'm a big tall guy, so do with that what you will.
Oh, that's easy. That makes it easier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
down.
basically
That'll
like
be
a
fun.
6'3" Seth Rogen. So
What I didn't expect happened. I think the last time we were in Texas. I'm also that guy that people will come to. I totally missed what you said, and
He's like a 6'3" Seth Rogen.
Calls me a 6'3" Seth Rogen.
That's fair. That's fair. But I am also, and probably because I've put myself through enough physical therapy to last like 5 lifetimes, I'm the person that a lot of people come to like, hey, this thing is wrong with me. What do I do? And so like I will try to fix people. And so like I started cracking everybody's backs in Texas. And like there was a line of people like, are you doing this? Can you do this for me now too? Okay.
I'm gonna tell you something that's gonna change your life, Phil.
Okay.
Look up Chirp Wheel.
I have, and I don't know. They don't really. They're
No?
not jiving with me well. My sister-in-law loves them. I got her. A
I
set.
love mine. Yeah,
The fuck
okay.
is a chirp wheel? Is that one of them things you roll your back on?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have the I have the permanent, the arc one, just the one that you can like make it a higher arc. I use that one a lot, but I don't. The chirp wheel for some reason.
I get on them and make sex sounds.
It's good for your pooper. Makes your intestines
The
work.
dog's hide.
Ah,
Oh yeah. That's a spot.
Yeah, we were off the fucking
Uh.
rails. We were off the fucking rails here tonight. We already are an
Alright, cut
hour.
me off.
What a great show we had.
Last
I'll
call.
tell you what, super professional.
Oh, we got a
Bill,
lot
thank
of
you
good
so
ones.
much for putting up with our dumbasses. We'll be the idiots in black and red on January 25th. And we'll do some submissional Sunday content. That'll be fun. We get
Awesome.
Tussle to film some of it too. That'll be hilarious.
Yeah,
Beating
bud.
He has a good
Dead.
color gradient. We
He does.
make it a
Yeah.
spectacle in 4K.
Yeah, there you go.
Slow mo.
Oh, hold on. One more thing. One more question. What do you keep your thermostat set to?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Very important.
the one in the house one is only at I think 63. The one in my room is at 65.
Is
I sh- I
AC
sh-
or heat?
I share my house with like 2 other adults who like love the cold, and I am not a cold weather person. So I have mine at 65, and it's fine. For
That's
me.
the heat.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Well done.
Yeah, that's
I'm
good.
I'm trying
Now,
to
what
sum-
about AC? What about AC?
See, I am a warm weather person. So for me, like there's times I don't really like just open the doors, like let the air flow. But if it gets like a little too, so for context, where I'm at in Maryland, there is a swamp that I can walk to that's not even like 100 yards from this house. Like, and so like I have the hot, humid summers, and I'm like, this is my weather.
Okay.
But
Ugh.
so like if the
Making
air
me
conditioner's
sweat
on
just
like,
talking.
if the air conditioner's on like 78, I think that's what it holds.
What
Okay,
the
'cause
fuck is
This is what
78?
I'm melting.
I mean,
this is what floors me though, because like I'll go down and I'll visit people in Texas, and like you're in Texas, you know what you're getting
Yes.
into, and their houses are set for like 62 in air conditioning, and I'm like, how are you functioning? I am freezing my ass off while it's 115 outside.
Actual photo of Phil right here.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Like, give me all the heat.
They call
It
me
works in more than one way.
Miser. That's a great movie.
I mean, I'll own it. I am. I
Oh,
take
my Lord.
all the heat.
I mean, at least you're not wasting money.
That's honestly that's the biggest thing, because we have exuberant energy costs in the Mid-Atlantic.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, that's
Yeah.
what's most important. That's what's
But we
most
love the Midwest, man.
but like it, I mean, so we in the next room over, there's also a wood fireplace. So like I'm the one that stacks that sucker.
Hey,
It's like the house
Nothing wrong with
thermostat
a
might
wood
be on
fire.
whatever it's at, but like I'm I'm sitting
you
living.
You're
got
good
your
either
heat,
way.
man. Yeah.
I'll open a door. I'll start a fire. I don't care.
I will say what's odd is the after the first time I caught COVID, my heat and cold tolerance has flipped a little bit. Like I felt like I wanted a little bit more of a cooler atmosphere and not as warm. I was like, this is weird. And that was like the only change in my life that had happened. It's the goofiest, weirdest thing.
You're the only person that's brought that up, that I had that same exact fucking thing. I used to be Mr. I sleep with the AC on, fan on all the time. I've been sleeping with 2 blankets since I had COVID. I can't get fucking warm anymore.
I'm always freezing. My
Dude.
body has been different since COVID.
Same. I can't get fucking warm.
My taste and my smell are hit and miss.
Meanwhile, I'm over here being a sweaty whale. No big deal. Anyway, thank you so much, Mr. Phil Stamper, for coming on. You were a
Excellent
delight to talk
episode.
to.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, fantastic episode.
We definitely trust
We
in
always
Phil.
say, man, when we get to the hour mark and we're like, oh, holy shit, it's been an hour. That means we've had a good episode because we're not even looking at the clock. So let's get a couple games of Fortnite in here before January 25th.
Absolutely.
And let's run this back again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I bet you get some more stories to tell.
Once we figure out, once we prove to everyone how the unit is still fine after January,
Right.
Yes.
We'll come prove it.
You heard it here.
We will get JT on here at some point.
Phil's unit is fine.
Then there's no tattoos on it.
Every line coming in my head that would be following that, I probably shouldn't say.
All right, Eric, wrap this shit up, buddy.
Well, thank you all for joining us. Another wonderful episode of the DWO Podcast. We are the DWO Podcast. I am Big Rig Eric Maffey. He is Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin. He is Wrestling T-shirt guy, Cephas, and he is the best Phil in wrestling, the president of wrestling, Phil Stamper. As always, you can check us out on all the socials at DWO_podcast, at Facebook at the DWO Podcast, TikTok at DWO_pod. Pro Wrestling Tees, T Public, get that dad merch. Also shout out Revolver at PW Revolver on pretty much all the socials. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And go sign up for the Patreon, man.
$5 a
Vitamins and
month.
Body slams. Hell yeah.
But you can't beat that. $5 a month. Great content.
Cannot. SRS is always touting his Fightful Select bullshit. Take your $5 elsewhere. Pro Wrestling
Support an
Revolver,
indie
baby. Yeah. All right. Well, until next time, Top Dads out.